Have you ever wondered how Russia, the largest country in the world, came to be what it is today? To comprehend the present, we must delve into the past, specifically to the 16th century, the era of the Russian Empire's inception. It was a time of exploration and expansion, where vast territories were conquered and assimilated, setting the stage for a nation that would eventually span 11 time zones. As the Russian Empire solidified its boundaries, a dynasty emerged that would leave an indelible mark on its history. The Romanovs, a family whose reign began in the early 17th century, ruled Russia for more than 3 centuries, guiding it through periods of immense growth and formidable challenges. They were the architects of a golden era, marked by the opulence of the royal court and the grandeur of their architectural achievements. The Romanovs' reign, however, wasn't without its share of turbulence. As the 20th century dawned, Russia found itself on the brink of a revolution that would forever alter its course. The Russian Revolution, a seismic event that shook the world, signaled the end of the Romanov dynasty and the advent of a new socio-political order. The revolution was not simply a changing of the guard, but a complete upheaval of the existing order. It was fueled by a fervor for change, a desire for equality, and a rejection of the monarchy's perceived excesses. The revolution was a crucible in which the old was melted away to forge something entirely new. In the aftermath, Russia was reborn, not as an empire, but as a socialist federation, marking the start of an era that would see the nation rise to superpower status. The Russian Revolution was a turning point, a moment in time that redefined Russia and set it on a path that would have far-reaching implications, not just for the country, but for the world at large. So, the foundation of Russia was laid with a blend of royal grandeur and revolutionary fervor. But that's just the beginning. How did a nation steeped in monarchy become a central figure in the global ideological battle of the 20th century? This question takes us to the Cold War era, an epoch that witnessed the rise of the Soviet Union as a global superpower. In the aftermath of the Second World War, 2 major forces emerged on the global stage: the United States and the Soviet Union. With the world divided into 2 ideological camps, the stage was set for one of the most intense geopolitical contests in human history, the Cold War. This was not a conventional conflict, but a war of ideologies, a chess game of political maneuvering and brinkmanship. The Soviet Union, under the banner of communism, sought to spread its influence far and wide. The space race was one such front where the Soviets made their mark. The year 1957 saw the launch of Sputnik, the first artificial satellite, by the Soviet Union. This not only marked the advent of the space age, but also signaled the Soviet Union's technological prowess to the world. But the Cold War wasn't just about stellar achievements. It also bore witness to some of the most tense moments in modern history. The Berlin Wall, constructed in 1961, became a stark symbol of the ideological divide between East and West. It stood as a physical barrier, separating families and friends, embodying the Cold War's harsh realities. Then came the Cuban Missile Crisis in 1962, a 13-day standoff between the United States and the Soviet Union. The world held its breath as these 2 superpowers came perilously close to a nuclear confrontation. It was a hair-raising reminder of the Cold War's potential to escalate into a full-blown nuclear war. And so, amidst these triumphs and tribulations, Russia, as the heartland of the Soviet Union, emerged as a superpower. Its influence extended from the far reaches of outer space to the political landscapes of countries worldwide. The Cold War era, with all its complexities and contradictions, was instrumental in shaping Russia's role on the global stage. Thus, Russia emerged as a superpower, playing a pivotal role in shaping the world order. What happens when an ideology that promises equality results in a regime marked by scarcity and repression? It's a question that finds its answer in the rise and fall of communism in Russia. In the early 20th century, Russia was a country in turmoil. The Tsarist regime had collapsed, and in its wake, a new form of government emerged, led by Vladimir Lenin and the Bolshevik Party. This marked the beginning of the communist era, a period defined by the promise of equality and the abolition of class distinctions. The Stalin era, which began in the mid-20s, was a time of intense industrialization and collectivization. Joseph Stalin, the man at the helm, was a leader with an iron fist. His policies, while successful in transforming the Soviet Union into a global superpower, were also marked by widespread famine, political repression, and the infamous purges that led to the death of millions. As the decades rolled on, the Soviet Union, under various leaders, continued to grapple with the contradictions of communism. On one hand, it was a global superpower. On the other, it was a nation struggling with economic stagnation and political unrest. The fall of communism came as a shock to the world. In the late 80s, under the leadership of Mikhail Gorbachev, the Soviet Union introduced policies of glasnost, openness, and perestroika, restructuring. These reforms, however, could not stem the tide of change. The Soviet Union was a behemoth struggling to adapt to a rapidly changing world. The fall of the Berlin Wall in 1989 was a symbolic blow to communism, and within 2 years the Soviet Union itself had dissolved. 15 independent nations rose from the ashes, with Russia, the largest among them, at the center. With the fall of communism, Russia entered a new era, filled with hope and uncertainty. The promise of a better future was tantalizing, but the path forward was uncharted. As we journey through Russia's history, it's clear that the rise and fall of communism left indelible marks on this vast and complex nation. How did Russia navigate the choppy waters of the post-Soviet era? It's a question that stirs a whirlwind of thoughts. The dissolution of the Soviet Union in the early 90s marked a colossal shift in the world order. It was a time of uncertainty, an era of change. For Russia, it meant a transition from a centralized economy and government to a market-oriented economy and multi-party political system. The 90s were a tumultuous time for Russia. The country was in the throes of economic instability. Hyperinflation ravaged the economy, plunging millions into poverty. All the while, a new class of oligarchs rose from the ashes of the Soviet Union, amassing vast fortunes amidst the chaos. Simultaneously, the political landscape was changing. Boris Yeltsin, the first president of the Russian Federation, found himself steering a ship in stormy seas. His tenure was marked by economic reforms, political instability, and a struggle to keep the federation intact. However, at the turn of the millennium, a new figure emerged on the Russian stage. Vladimir Putin, a former KGB officer, became the second president of Russia. Under Putin's leadership, Russia experienced a period of economic growth and stability, largely thanks to the boom in oil prices. Putin's reign, however, has not been without controversy. Accusations of democratic backsliding, corruption, and an increasingly assertive foreign policy have marked his tenure. Today, Russia stands as a significant player on the global stage. Its influence is felt from the icy plains of the Arctic to the heated politics of the Middle East. The country continues to grapple with economic challenges and international sanctions, yet it remains a formidable force in global geopolitics. From a czarist empire to a communist superpower, and now a major player in global politics, Russia's journey has been nothing short of extraordinary. Now that we've journeyed through Russia's turbulent past, are you ready for some mind-boggling facts about this enigmatic nation? Firstly, let's talk about the Trans-Siberian Railway. Constructed between 1891 and 1914, this railway is the longest in the world, stretching over 9,000 kilometers. It's a testament to Russian engineering prowess and a symbol of the country's vastness. Secondly, did you know about Russia's infamous Siberian punishment system? From the 16th to the 20th century, Russia exiled its criminals and political dissidents to Siberia, turning the region into a massive open-air prison. Our third fact dives into the Cold War era. During this time, Russia built over 40 secret cities. These places were home to military-industrial complexes and were so classified that they didn't even appear on maps. Some remain undisclosed to this day. Fourthly, Russia didn't consider beer to be alcohol until 2011. Before this, it was classified as a soft drink. Our fifth fact is about the House of Fabergé. Known for their intricate designs, the House of Fabergé crafted 50 imperial Easter eggs for Russian tsars between 1885 and 1917. Only 43 survive today, and they're considered the epitome of the jeweler's art. Sixth, let's talk about the Russian Empire. At its height, it was the third largest empire in history, only surpassed by the British and Mongol empires. Next, did you know that Russia sold Alaska to the United States in 1867 for just $7.2 million? That's about 2 cents per acre. Our eighth fact is that Russia has the world's largest forest reserves, known as the lungs of Europe. And it's home to the world's deepest lake, Lake Baikal. Ninth, Russia is the only country to have nuclear icebreakers. These are used to clear paths for other ships through the Arctic's frozen waters. Finally, our 10th fact. Russia is home to 25% of the world's fresh water. As we've seen, Russia's history is a fascinating tapestry of power, revolution, and resilience. This was just a glimpse into the vast and complex saga of Russia. Until next time, keep exploring and keep learning.